All right, guys, we're 2 weeks away from Valentine's Day. Are you ready? Let's do something different, guys. Let's make a really good meal. I'm gonna show you a meal today that's so easy, just absolutely delicious and very impressive. We're gonna make surf and turf. We're gonna make it with lobster tail and tomahawk steaks. Got two of these beauties right here right now. We're gonna go ahead and salt these tonight. Let them dry brine. Makes a huge difference how good they are. We'll come back tomorrow, put them on the grill, and dress our lobster tails in. Let's go ahead and get the salt on these things now. All right, folks, all we're gonna do is just put a little bit of salt on these, actually quite a bit of salt. Now, I know it's gonna look kind of funny because it's gonna look like I'm doing way too much salt, but I promise you it's gonna require this much because these are some big, thick pieces of meat, right? And we'll get it all over. Press it in there as best you can, all sides. Because I'm putting salt on now, whatever rub I put on after this, I gotta make sure I don't have any salt in it, whether I make it myself or I use a store-bought. Make sure it has no salt, because this will be enough salt. Salt will draw moisture out of the steak, and that moisture will then dissolve the salt and then actually pull the salt back down into the steak, so you get it salted all the way through. That's gonna be good enough right there. Put these in the fridge like this. We'll come back tomorrow when they're ready to go. All right, guys, time out. Now, I know there's somebody out there that said those aren't tomahawk steaks, those are cowboy steaks. You know what, you're right. The only difference between a tomahawk and a cowboy is about 4 or 5 more inches of bone and about $30 more out of your pocket. We're gonna be using a coffee rub on these steaks. I'll let you look at this real quick. Look at that, it's a really good looking coffee rub. It's got, of course, coffee grinds, ground coffee, pepper, garlic powder. Put all the different ingredients of this rub in the description down below, but there's no salt in it, because like I said last night, we dry brined these and they were salty. You saw the salt we put on there, of course, and so they're really good, bright red, just really beautiful picture of the color right there. Now these are pretty dry because they have been dry brining all night. So I want to put a little bit of olive oil. Now I'm just gonna squirt just a little bit of olive oil, not much at all, just a little bit to get it tacky. I'm not trying to get drenched. I'm just gonna put a little bit on here, all the way around on both sides, and along the edge too, of course. And we'll put this coffee rub on there. I like a good coffee rub. Now, if you guys don't like coffee, of course, you don't have to use coffee. You can use decaf if you're worried about caffeination. Just get the coffee taste is all we're looking for. We'll get this rub on here now. Should stick to it really well. We'll put plenty on here, and I'm not gonna rub it. I'm just gonna pat it on there really well. We're using the Spider Grill's Venom. We're gonna put it at about 250. These will take about 2 hours. So there you go, guys. They are rubbed up, ready to go, looking really good. For now, we're just gonna go ahead and get these on the grill and we'll go from there. Be back in a second. All right, guys, we got our charcoal here. It's already ashed over. Put a drip plate in. Get our grate on. There we go. Let this warm up a little bit and we'll be ready to go. Put the steaks on just in a minute. All right, guys, here we are. We got our steaks on. Good to go there. Got charcoal running. We're going to throw in some oak chunks into the charcoal here in a minute. We'll probably add some more lump charcoal too. See you guys when we go to flip them at 80 or 90 degrees. All right, guys, we have hit right at 80 degrees, actually 82 on one and 79 on the other. So we're going to go ahead and turn them over. So we got a little bit of smoke going. I see the flame in there. We got a little bit of smoke going because of the wood. Let you see the backside. Oh, golly, they're super tender, guys. Looking really, really good there. Gosh, they're super tender. So we're just gonna turn this over, leave the thermometer in where it's at. Of course, we put this foil on here to prevent the bone from browning and burning and turning and looking bad. Ooh, gosh. Man, that's crazy tender, guys. Keep going here. I gotta close this up so that fire will go out some. All right, guys, so the steaks got to 80 degrees. We've flipped them over. Now, we're gonna let one of them get to 120 and one of them get to 130. We'll take them in the house, let them rest in there, and they'll still continue to cook about another 10 degrees. While they're resting, we'll bring the lobster tails out and grill them off. Now, the lobster tails won't take 8 to 10 minutes probably at the most. While they're finishing, after they finish, we'll bring the steaks back out and sear them off and be ready to dive in. So our next step is actually just to prep the lobster tails, which we'll do now. All right, guys, here's our lobster tail. Now, you notice we got the tail back here. We got it flanned open. You don't want to cut. We're going to cut this shell in half, but you don't want to cut past the tail where the tail stops. So I'll use these poultry shears, see if these, I got another pair of scissors in case these don't work, but we'll give these a try. And we'll just cut right down the center of this shell, all the way down to there. Now what I want to do is take my knife, I want to cut through this meat, and I don't intend to cut all the way through. I want to cut it just so far so it stays together. There we go. Now that tail's open. I'll get these cut up and then we'll season all these, and I'll be back in a minute to show you what we're going to do for seasoning. Here's the last one, and then we'll go ahead and get these seasoned up and ready to go on the grill as our steaks are about to the 120 and 130 mark. Now I'm gonna take this again and cut almost all the way through, but not quite all the way through. Now some folks have to cut all the way through and make 2 fingers out of it, so to speak, but I like to just leave mine just kind of butterflied and try not to get all the way through. Pop them open. Crack that shell a bit more than you want to. Feels like you should. Now to get these seasoned up, now I want to put a little bit of olive oil on this. Not much. Just a little bit of olive oil on there. Now, you know, you can use any kind of seasoning you want. For beginning, what I want to do, guys, I want to just go ahead and do some salt and pepper only. Now, I'm not going to put much salt. Not going to take a lot, just a little bit. And then a little bit of the 16 mesh pepper. So I get a little bit to come out of this big juggernaut. I don't want too much, just enough to get a little bit on there. There we go, that's actually plenty. And our last lobster tail, salt and a dab of pepper. And there they are, guys. All 4 ready to go. We'll put them on the grill as soon as we get these steaks off. All right, guys, time to take these steaks off. We got them down to 127 and 123. It's close to I'm gonna get to 130 and 120, kind of in between the two. We're gonna take the steaks off now. Pull the thermometers out. Look at that, guys. Whew, it's hot. I can't wait to sear these things, guys. They're gonna be absolutely incredible when I get to sear them. Look how good they, oh, they look good. Oh my goodness, that coffee rub does such a great job, y'all. My gosh, that looks delicious. So we'll let these rest. We'll tint these with some foil. Now what I'm gonna do next, guys, is take these in the house, tint them with foil, come back out and get our charcoal really fired up because we want a good, hot, flaming charcoal for some direct heat on these lobster tails. I'll show you what I mean in just a second. All right, guys, one of the most important parts of this whole process is to start with a cooler grate. We don't want to use a hot grate like we just had on there. The reason why is the lobster tail will stick to it horribly. So what we're gonna do is put a cool grate in, brand new grate, just got this one, and we'll put our lobster tails on. We're gonna put them on flesh down in there. Now we'll take the grate and rotate it on top of the direct flame. Now we're gonna leave it there for about 3 or 4 minutes and let these lobster tails flesh up a little bit. So I'll go ahead and close the lid. And we've got the Spider Grill's venom set at 550. Now it'll never reach that, of course, but we're fine with that. We want as much flame as we can get right now. And we're gonna let it go here 3 or 4 minutes, vent wide open. While they're cooking, we're gonna put this butter on to melt down to make our baste. So we'll slide these back a little bit. Notice they're not sticking to the grate, which is hugely important, guys, because if I had put it on a hot grate, they'd be sticking right now. It would not be good. Now we'll melt that butter down for our baste. So our butter's melting now. It's been on about 1.5 minutes probably. We'll check these lobster tails. See how they look. That one's not quite white meaty enough. This one's getting closer to being ready to pull back. I'll go ahead and pull that one back, I think. As is that one, guys. I don't know if you can, hope you can see it in the camera. It's much more meaty. I mean, much more flat, like a white look to it, like a fish look to it. Meat, yeah, there. It's definitely good enough too. We'll pull that one back as well. We'll turn them over. We'll leave this one going for a little bit longer. Pull these others back. Hopefully our butter will melt pretty quick here and we can get to basting. In our baste, we're gonna put some parsley and some lemon juice, a little bit more salt, not much, and a little bit more pepper. We got some parsley here we'll put on there and some lemon juice and some lemons in there. Now let's check this again. Check it pretty quick here, pretty often. It's definitely ready to come back off the heat. Butter's getting there. It's getting there well. So we'll go ahead and throw some parsley in there. I don't have a lot of room, but I'm gonna put some parsley in there. What I'm gonna do with the lemons, guys, this is a pretty cool trick. Put these lemons and grill them. Now why I say that is because when you grill them like this, man, they are much sweeter. They're just a terrific, golly, it's hot. Woo! I wish you used the gloves, shouldn't I? Grill those lemons, guys. It'll actually help to sweeten them up a little bit and really, really good. So we'll go ahead and just baste these really, really well here. Butter's melted good. And that's good enough. Okay, now close that up. Let those puppies cook a little bit. Again, our target temperature for these lobster tails is 140 internal. We'll let this go for a bit. The butter has definitely melted really well. I'm just gonna take some of this lemon juice and just squeeze that grilled lemon juice into there. And I'm gonna do that with just one of them because people may want some lemon on their own when they eat their lobster tail. Just stir that in there though. And it'll be really, really good, guys. I'm looking forward to these. These will be great. Now, when these finish up, like I said, we'll bring the steaks back out and get them seared off. All right, guys, we've been going about 8 minutes now. Let's go ahead and check these and temp them 8 minutes after we seared them on a front sear. At 110, 118, 114, 118. So we're doing good, guys. We got probably another 5 minutes at the most, I would think. Let's go ahead and baste them another time. That'll be good. Close them down a little bit, but that's okay. We want them to be good, meaty, and juicy. Right to that sear, look at that sizzle. Good, good basting here. That's crazy hot. Let's close it up a little bit. All right, guys. Let's go ahead and give these things a temp, see how they do. All right. 140 on the butt. 143. 138. We're good with that. 135 on this side's 141. So we're good to go, guys. We're gonna take these off right now. Oh yeah, looking good. Woo, it's hot. Oh yeah, guys. How those look? Looking good to me. We'll set these over here. Keep a towel over them to keep them warm. Back in just a second, we'll get those steaks seared off. All right, guys, so now what we're gonna do is put some wood chunks, just some real small chips really, just some small oak wood chunks kind of down in there. Let that get good and hot. It's pretty hot now. We'll go ahead and put the steaks on. They're both on there at the same time or not. We'll go ahead and try here. I'm actually going to baste these with a little bit of this butter as well. There we go, just a little bit of it. Let them go for about a minute, minute and a half on each side. Here we are, we finished our lobster tail and tomahawk steak or cowboy steak dinner. These things look fantastic. Oh my gosh, it is beautiful. We got the lobster tails done, got the steaks done, looking good. We'll get a bite now. Let's cut it right off the bone. Oh yeah, something else to chew on a little bit later. We'll just cut us here in half and check this thing out. Let's look. It's rested, so we'll let it sear. On searing, it's not gonna need to rest from the sear, so we're okay there. We'll go ahead and cut it open. We'll go right through the middle here. Let you guys see how good this looks. Y'all ready? Oh yeah. Oh my goodness, guys, how good does that look? Cannot wait to try this. This is fantastic looking. Let's cut us a little sliver of this in half. This little lobster tail over here. Garnish it a little bit with some more parsley. We're gonna put a little more butter on that too while we're at it. Put a little butter on it. Oh yeah, cut this little piece out of there. Use our finger to get it out of work. So I won't do when y'all ain't watching. I won't use your fingers anyway. All right, guys. First we'll do the lobster tail. Let's take a bite of that and see how that tastes. Looks delicious. Let's go. All right, guys. Here we go. Cheers. Guys, that is so good. Oh my goodness. Perfectly done. Great lobster tail taste. That butter and parsley and lemon juice. Oh my goodness, did so great. Now let's try this steak. Oh my goodness, that is so good. It's gone. It just melted in my mouth. That is fantastic steak, guys. I'm telling you what, that rub, make sure you use that rub. I'll put the recipe in the description. It is phenomenal. Love it. This is probably one of my best things I've ever made. It is fantastic. Guys, I love both the lobster tail and the steak. So perfect chance to impress your wife, or wives to impress your husbands. Make this steak and lobster tail. You will absolutely love it. Super easy to do. You saw how easy it was. Wasn't much to it at all. Just stay with the temperatures and you're good to go, guys. I hope you liked this video today. I hope you got some value out of it. Appreciate you watching, that's for sure. And I certainly hope you hit the like button and hit the subscribe button. We sure do appreciate the support there. All right, guys, until next time, I'll meet you at the smoker.